Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. I'm Yashasvi Chantada. So today let us continue with the 31st question in Science and Technology. Okay. So with reference to the Deep Ocean Mission, consider the following statements. So the Ministry of Earth Sciences is the nodal ministry implementing this multi-institutional ambitious mission. Okay, it is correct. A major objective of the mission is to develop technologies for deep sea missions of living and non-living resources. So you can make out from the question itself, deep ocean mission. So both are correct. Okay, both one and two. Deep ocean mission will be a mission mode project to support the blue economy initiatives of the government of India. Okay, Ministry of Earth Sciences. Try to remember that is the nodal ministry which will be implementing this. And major objectives of this deep ocean mission are to address issues arising from long-term changes in the ocean due to climate change, to develop technologies for deep sea mission of living, okay, biodiversity and also mineral resources. Okay, to develop underwater vehicles and underwater robotics, to provide ocean climate change advisory services, to identify technological innovations and conservation methods for sustainable utilization of marine bioresources. Okay, to develop offshore based desalination techniques also. So in order to make what is seawater potable, okay, drinkable. So try to remember all these things because question can be asked in any way. Okay, it's an important question. So consider the following statements regarding 5G technology. 5G technology has faster data rates, higher connection density, okay, higher latency among other improvements over 4G. Okay, so the max speed of 5G is aimed at 35.46 Gbps, which is over 35 times faster than 4G. So let us look at it. So what is 5G? 5G is a generation currently under development that's intended to improve on 4G. Okay, so after we have the 2G, 3G, 4G, now we have the fifth generation mobile connections. Okay, 5G promises significantly faster data rates, higher connection density and much lower latency. Okay, so here is it faster data rates, which is correct, higher connection density, which is correct, not higher latency, it is lower latency. So observe that, very important. The difference between 5G and 4G is everything else is high, but when it comes to latency, okay, latency, it has a low latency. That means that is better actually. So you will have less signal drops and etc. Okay. Okay. So some of the plans for 5G include device-to-device communication. So we have the Internet of Things, etc. All these things, right? So they all need 5G. Better battery consumption. Okay, better battery consumption. So don't. I mean, if one of the statement is that it consumes more battery, not exactly, because there is better battery consumption. There is more efficiency actually, and improved overall wireless coverage. Okay, wireless coverage is also improved. The maximum speed of 5G is aimed at being as fast as 35 Gbps. Try to remember this. It's around 35 Gbps, which is about 35 times faster than 4G. Okay. So key technologies to look out for are millimeter wave mobile communications. Okay. All these things, different estimations have been made for a commercial introduction of 5G. Okay. So 5G should be rolled out by 2020. So it has rolled out already. Okay. Currently, we are all using 5G. So 5G technology has faster data rates, higher connection density, and lower latency. And maximum speed of 5G is 35 Gbps, which is over 35 times faster than 4G. So, which of the following organizations is associated with the Green Deal Industrial Plan recently seen in the news? Okay. So, Green Deal Industrial Plan is by associated with the European Commission. Try to remember that. Green Deal Industrial Plan. So basically, the European Commission started the initiative of a Green Deal Industrial Plan to enhance the competitiveness of Europe's net zero industry. So basically, today the whole world is looking at net zero or zero carbon, zero carbon emissions, etc. Even India, we have a target of net zero by 2070. Okay, remember that is also very important. By 2070, India is planning to become a net zero. Okay, that means we won't be using fossil fuels or anything at all. Okay. So the plan aims to provide a more supportive environment for the scaling up of the EU's manufacturing capacity for the net zero technologies. And basically, what you say, like electric vehicles or solar energy, wind energy, and all these things. Okay. So they have this European Green Deal and Repower EU. Okay, this is actually renewable energy. Okay, Repower EU and European Green Deal. So predictable and simplified regulatory environment, speeding up access to finance, enhancing skills, and open trade for resilient supply chains. Okay, anyway, remember it's the European Commission. Okay, Green Deal Industrial Plan, and we've seen this Repower EU, all these things. So consider the following statements regarding LTE and VoLTE. So all these are very important from point of view of ICT, okay, information and communication technologies. So they both are data communication systems. Okay, they both support data and voice call service at the same time. Actually, they don't. Okay, LTE does not. So let us look at the difference. Okay, so LTE and VoLTE is the data communication system. It's also data communication system. So both are data communication systems. So it may or may not support data and voice call at the same time. So see, most of the cell phones we use now are using VoLTE technology. Okay, so what it does is it supports data and voice call services at the same time. In LTE, it does not support data and voice call services at the same time. So they both support data and voice call services at the same time is wrong. So in case if it supports data and voice call together, the quality of voice calling is not good. Okay. While it supports HD quality voice while calling data. So basically this is advanced. It turns off data connection while making voice calls. So if you want to make voice calls, it turns off data connection. Okay. In case of LTE. In case of VoLTE, it does not turn off data connection while making voice calls. Okay, so you can be speaking on the phone and also you can be using the internet also. So call connection between two users is lower. In both users are if both users are on VoLTE technology, call connection is faster. So external applications like Skype or WhatsApp is required to make video calls. Okay, but here in this case, no external applications are required. It is not widely used by user nowadays, and this is more widely used. So basically, anything that is positive is volt. I mean, is a more advanced than LTE. Okay, VoLTE. So LTE does not turn off data connection while making voice calls. So LTE is the old one. So it turns off. Whereas Volt turns off data connection. Actually, Volt need not turn off. Volt is more advanced. So this is also wrong. LTE requires external applications to make video calls. That is true. Whereas Volt doesn't require. Okay. So everything that is advanced is Volt. So 1 and 4 are the options. So consider the following. Strategic interventions for green hydrogen transition program site. Okay, green hydrogen hubs, infrastructure development, establishing a robust framework of regulations and standards, research and development. How many of the above are components of the National Green Hydrogen Mission of India? So, National Green Hydrogen Mission means first thing you have to get into mind is 5 million metric tons. Okay, see, yes, see, 5 million metric tons. National Green Hydrogen Mission launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. That is also important because green hydrogen we're talking about it's a renewable energy. So renewable Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and the target is producing 5 million metric tons by 2030. This is very important. And you see this site. Okay, so facilitating demand creation through exports and domestic utilization, strategic interventions for green hydrogen transition program, and development of green hydrogen hubs and support for infrastructure development, establishing robust framework of regulations and standards, research and development, skill development, public awareness, and outreach programs. So basically everything that is positive. So all these things are there. Okay, all are positive statements. They are all part of National Green Hydrogen Mission, which is by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, 5 million metric tons by 2030. So consider the following statements regarding the IEA Electricity Report 2024. Okay, so let us first directly look at the IEA report. So this has come very recently. Okay, I think just in the past month or so. This is very important. So it tells about it's the International Energy Agency. Okay, the IEA means International Energy Agency unveiled key insights into India's energy future with its report Electricity 2024. So IEA Electricity Report 2024 very recently it has come. So what it is saying that there is still continued reliance on coal. India is projected to rely on coal to meet rising demand through 2026. Okay, so that is one thing. Coal-fired generation is expected to meet 68% of India's electricity demand by 2026. Okay, so even though there is a decrease of 74%, still 68% of the demand is being met by coal only. Okay, so renewable energy still needs to pick up a lot. So this statistic is very important. How much of coal we have? Coal fired is 68%. Coal fired power generation is expected to rise by 2.5% annually. So it is still rising. Okay, in spite of all this which we are saying, zero net. This is very important. Okay, India's net zero target by 2070. Very important. Okay, this is something which in most of the questions it comes. Okay, coal is expected to dominate, meeting 68% of demand. So remember this, still 68% is coal and renewable energy. Okay, renewable energy only 21% share. Okay, in electricity generation in 2023, rise in solar and wind was largely offset by reduced hydropower output. So even though solar and wind energy have increased a little bit because of the reduction in hydropower. Okay, maybe there is not enough water or whatever. Because of the reduction in this, the rise in solar and wind was largely offset. Close to 21 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity was added during 2023, with renewable energy accounting for nearly 44% of total installed capacity. So there we saw in 2026 there is going to be 68%, but in 2023 as of now 44% is what is the renewable energy capacity. Okay, remember all these things very important. So India's electricity demand rose by 7% in 2023. Okay, rapid economic growth, etc. A lot of ACs, refrigerators being used. Expected annual average growth is 6.5 between 24 to 26, and by 2026 we are going to outpace China. Okay, with the requirement of electricity, there is going to be huge requirement, and of that 68% is going to come from coal-fired steel. About 85% of the new electricity capacity is expected from emerging economies, particularly South Asia, China, and India. Okay, this is all over the world. Changing weather patterns led to a 15% fall in hydropower generation in 2023. So, because of changing weather patterns, there has been 15% reduction in hydropower. That is why, even after solar and wind combined, hydropower, because of the reduction in the hydropower, there is not much increase. Okay, to ensure uninterrupted power supply, government mandated a blending of minimum 6% of imported coal with domestic coal. Okay, so we have already seen like in ethanol, okay, 20% blending of ethanol in petrol, 5% blending of biodiesel and all those things we have seen, right? So remember 6% of coal also. So India announced plans in 2022 to triple its nuclear capacity by 2032. So remember the statement, very important. So we are trying to triple our nuclear capacity by 2032 to add 13 gigawatts with 6 gigawatts currently under construction. So 13 gigawatts of nuclear energy we are trying to add. India currently has 23 operable nuclear reactors providing about 2% of the country's electricity. So these things at least roughly you need to have an idea. So if someone says nuclear energy produces about 10%, you have to identify that it is wrong. Okay, it is about 2%. So if someone says 1.5, 2.5, that is also fine. Okay, roughly it's around 2%. You have to remember that. And 23 operable nuclear reactors. Okay, so this highest domestically built nuclear plant, 700 megawatts, Kakrapad Unit 3, commenced operations in Gujarat. Okay, there is also one in Haryana, etc. Okay, Kamini, Bhavini, we've already seen one question, right? So, based on the country's project timeline, nuclear power generation is expected to increase rapidly during 24-26. New plants totaling estimated 4 gigawatts of capacity. So, if you look at India's power sector, installed electricity generation capacity as of May 2023, so fairly recent. So, what is the total installed capacity, both the fossil fuels and non-fuels? 417 gigawatts. So, what is installed electricity generation capacity of India? is around 400 gigawatts. So out of that 400 gigawatts, 56% is in fossil fuel, including coal, diesel, petrol, and everything. Okay, this we are talking about electric generation capacity. And renewable energy is 41, okay, 41.4. Nuclear fuel is 1.6. So this can, you can say, remember, roughly as 2%. So this is 55-56%, renewable energy 41. So this 56 is expected to go up to 68%, right? Only coal alone will go to 68%. So 417 gigawatts. What is the total installed capacity of India? 417 gigawatts, out of which 56.8 is fossil fuels, 41.4 is renewable energy, 1.6 is nuclear. So consider the following statements regarding the IEA Electricity Report 2024. So coal-fired generation is expected to meet 68% of India's electricity demand by 2026. So it is correct. So we have just seen by 2026, coal-fired itself is going to become 68%. The share of renewable energy is 21% of electricity generation in 2023. So we have seen, okay, in 2023, share of renewable energy is 21%. Okay, India's electricity demand is expected to outpace China's by 2030. So this is wrong, right? So we have seen India's electricity demand is projected to outpace China by 2026 itself, not 2030. Okay, 2026 itself, we are going to outpace China. And see, so renewable energy generation remained relatively stable with a 21% share of electricity generation in 2023. Okay. So in 2023, renewable energy is 21%. Okay. And here we are seeing renewable energy. This is the installed electricity generation capacity. Installed. Okay. Total installed electricity generation capacity, out of this 417, we are having renewable energy is 41.4%. This is the installed capacity. And here we are talking about renewable energy that is generated. Okay, generated, because as you can see, hydropower, there wasn't much generation. Okay, so even though there is installed hydropower capacity, the generation was very less due to several weather phenomena. Okay, so remember this. So India's electricity demand is expected to outpace China by 2030, which is true. The gains in solar and wind power were offset by the reduced uh, hydropower output. So that is also true. India announced its plan to triple its nuclear capacity by 2032. So this is also true, right? So all are correct except three. All are correct. So 1, 2, 4, and 5 only. C is the right option. Okay. So consider the following statements regarding India's renewable energy sector. So this is a very standard statement, right? India plans to achieve net zero emission target by 2070. This we are saying everywhere. Okay. This is a very standard statement. Now let us quickly look at. So we have already seen, right? Total in installed capacity is 417 gigawatts. Okay. So India is set to achieve its short-term and long-term targets under the Panchamrit Action Plan. So remember, there is something called as the Panchamrit Action Plan. And what are the targets? Reaching non-fossil fuel energy, that is renewable energy capacity of 500 gigawatts by 2030. Fine. Fulfilling at least half of its energy requirements via renewable energy by 2030. So all these statements are very, very important. Okay. Reducing CO2 emissions by 1 billion tons by 2030, reducing carbon intensity below 45%. So CO2 emissions 1 billion, okay, and carbon intensity by 40%, 45%, below 45% by 2030, and net zero emission target by 2070. That is as a long-term goal. It is already there. So in August, India updated its nationally determined contribution, according to which target to reduce emissions intensity of its GDP is enhanced to 45% by 2030 from 2005 level. Okay. So this is also very frequently asked statement. From 2005 level, they are planning to reduce by 45% by 2030. So, if you look at it, India is the third largest producer and consumer of electricity worldwide. Okay, India is the third largest producer and consumer of electricity worldwide with the installed power capacity of is already around 410 gigawatts. Okay, and this we're talking about January 31st, 2023. So last year. So 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 these are the latest. Okay, so in 2023 you had 410 gigawatts total, out of which India's installed renewable energy capacity, including hydro, stood at 168 gigawatts, representing 40%. We already saw 41%, right? So try to remember these things. 410 gigawatts total, out of it 41% is installed renewable energy capacity. Of this, we have generated around 21% for 2023, right? It is 168 gigawatts, and that within the next year. See, this is for 2024, and this is for 2023. Okay, so this is for 2023. This is for 2024 because question can be asked anyway. So that 168, 168 of installed renewable energy has become 190. Okay, try to remember that. And solar energy is 63. Okay, 63 gigawatts followed by 41 gigawatts. Okay, fine. So that 60 has become 80, and this 41 has become 45. Okay, so usually solar will be the highest. Okay, remember, solar will be the highest, and usually second highest will be wind most of the time. See here, wind is 40.9, and these days hydropower has increased. See 46.85 from hydropower. So hydropower has come to second position. Wind has gone to third position. Okay, solar energy will be top 63, followed by hydropower 46. Next, wind energy 41. So they might ask you to put in a ascending or descending order. So that's why you need to have rough idea. And biomass will be always very low. Small hydro will be less. Okay. So India has a total thermal capacity of 237 gigawatts. So out of this 410, 411, 168 is renewable capacity, 237 is thermal energy, thermal capacity. Private sector in the power industry generates 50%, whereas state and central generate 24 and 25 respectively. So try to remember this. So private sector is generating the majority, 50%. India has a total, of which 57% is thermal power is obtained from coal and rest from lignite, diesel, gas. So coal is mostly used, and after that lignite is there, diesel power plants will be there, gas power plants will be there. So anyway, remember this. So 410, 168, okay, all these things. So now that became 190. 168 became 190. This is as of March 24. Okay, so very recent. Wind power became 45, solar became from 68 to 81, wind power 41 to 50, 45 it has become, and large hydro, not much change. See 46, it still remains 46. So basically something is not good in the hydro power sector. Okay, hydro power plants are not generating much energy. Even after this 41% which we have seen, only 21% was generated. So try to remember that. Small hydro, biomass, all these are more or less same 10. Waste to energy will be very less. Okay, 10. Previously it was 10 only. So consider the following statements regarding India's renewable energy sector. India plans to achieve net zero emission target by 2070, which is completely true. We have seen so many times. So India is the fifth largest producer and consumer of electricity. No, India is the third largest producer and consumer of electricity. So this is wrong. Total installed power capacity is roughly 410. So yes, remember this. You have to remember what is the power capacity, installed power capacity of India by 2023. It is around 410. Okay, so India's installed renewable energy capacity as on Jan 31, 2023 stood at 168. So in 23 it was 168. In 2024 it was 190. Remember that, which is around 40%, which is true. Okay, renewable energy is 41%. We have seen, and also we have seen so many other things, right? Coal alone will become 68%, and all those things. The energy from solar is more than the large hydropower and small hydropower combined together. Okay, so see, large hydropower is 46, right? Small hydropower is very less. So solar is around 81 something, right? 81 gigawatts. So even if you combine large and this thing, solar will be more. So B is the right option. Okay, one is right, two is wrong. It is third largest producer. Three, four, five, all are correct. So all these are very important statistics. Try to remember them, not just read it once and forget. Such questions can be asked in the exam. So with reference to the quick reaction surface to air missile, surface to air, that means shooting a helicopter or drone or anything. Okay, consider the following statements. This Q or SAM. Okay, it is a long range surface to air missile designed to protect moving armored columns from aerial attacks. No, see if it doesn't make sense. You are saying surface to air. So standing on the land, you are going to shoot into the air. So armored columns means they will be moving on the land. Aerial attacks means the missile has to come from the helicopter or a jet or anything from air. So it is complete opposite. It is a single stage solid fuel propelled missile. Okay, which is correct. Okay. Okay, so this QRSAM is a short-range surface-to-air missile system designed to protect moving armored columns from aerial attacks. So the entire weapon system is configured on highly mobile platforms and is capable of providing air defense on the move. So QRSAM weapon systems is being inducted into the Indian Army. So it's a short-range surface-to-air missile system which is designed to protect moving armored. So basically, what it's saying is when our tanks are going, so that some other helicopter or something does not attack from the air. So we have this quick reaction surface to air missile which we can shoot, right? So basically, what is wrong in this is it's a long range. This is the mistake. Okay, this is the mistake. So it is not it's not supposed to be what you say from the air or anything. So basically the tanks which are moving are tanks which are moving on the land. In order to protect them from any aerial attacks, this is a short range surface to air missile. Okay, that is the only mistake here. It is a short range. Next, so this has a canister based system, which means it is stored and operated from specially designed compartments. Okay, engaging target with short hauls, basically short range. It uses a single stage solid fuel propelled missile and has a mid course inertial navigation system with a two-way data link and terminal active seeker developed by DRDO. Anyway, remember this. It's a solid fuel, single stage solid fuel propelled missile. Okay, so consider the following statements regarding the IEA's report on India's energy demand. So, what is the International Energy Agency saying? So, International Energy Agency has released the first in-depth review of India's energy policies. So, sometime back we have seen the electricity report 2024, right? So all that we have seen, lot of information. This is a it's a review of the India's energy policy. So what it is saying that India's demand for energy is set to double by 2040, and its electricity demand may triple. Okay, remember we are trying to triple the nuclear capacity by 2030. So Indian oil consumption is expected to grow faster than any other economy, including China. So in 2026, we are expected to cross China, right? So India's oil demand is expected to reach 6 million barrels per day by 2024 from 4.4 million. So that which was 4.4, now it will become 6 million barrels per day. Try to remember that. Okay, what is the oil demand of India? Because oil is very important for our economy. Okay, 6 million barrels per day. Um, So most of it we are reliant on crude imports, right? So it make so we become vulnerable to the disruption in the Middle East. So recently that aluminum factory Aramco, okay, there was a drone attack, and immediately there was a lot of disturbance in the oil sector, right? So India's oil refining capacity is expected to rise to 5.7 million BPD by 2024. So we need 6 million barrels per day, and our oil refining capacity is will be only 5.7 million barrels per day. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the country's energy demand is set to double by 2040, and its electricity demand may triple. So remember this. Okay, the country's energy demand is set to double by 2040, and its electricity demand may triple. So India's oil consumption is expected to grow faster than China by 2026. Yes, it is true. So India's oil demand is 6 million barrels per day, and oil refining capacity is 5.7. Okay, so all the above are true. So with reference to the Marburg disease, consider the following statements. It is a bacterial disease that causes hemorrhagic fever. Okay, so it is a anthroponic disease. So let us see. Marburg virus disease is a highly virulent disease that causes hemorrhagic fever with a fatality ratio of up to 88%. Okay, it belongs to the same family as the Ebola virus. Two large outbreaks occurred in Marburg and Frankfurt in Germany, and in Belgrade, Serbia in 1967 led to the initial recognition of the disease. So it's a highly virulent disease that causes hemorrhagic fever. So he said it is a bacterial disease. So that is wrong. It is a virus. Marburg disease is similar to Ebola virus. Okay. It is an human infection with Marburg disease initially results from prolonged exposure to mines or caves inhabited by Rosetta's bat colonies. Once an individual is infected with the virus, Marburg can spread through human to human transmission. So human to human is anthroponic, okay, anthroponosis. Animal to human is called zoonotic, okay. Broken skin, mucus, blood, bodily secretions, etc., etc. So consider the following statements regarding the National Policy on Biofuels 2018. So some of the important facts of National Policy on Biofuels 2018 are, see, this is very important, okay. 20% blending of ethanol in petrol and 5% blending of biodiesel in diesel by 2030. This is very, very important. 20% blending of ethanol in petrol and 5% blending of biodiesel in diesel by 2030. And developing a national biomass repository by conducting appraisal of biomass. Okay, one repository means all information will be available at one spot. And see, there is 2G ethanol biorefineries for 5,000 crores, 6 years, etc. Cooking oil, okay, biodiesel production to be encouraged from non-edible seeds, cooking oil, etc., etc. And see, first generation will be by say advanced, second generation, third generation. We'll look into that. It is there in the next page clearly. And increase scope of raw material for ethanol procurement by encouraging intermediate sugarcane juice, okay, bee molasses, all these things. And setting up of a biofuel coordination committee under Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Okay. So remember these ministries, they are also very important. Okay. Which ministry is taking up of this biofuels policy? Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So what are the different generations of biofuel? Okay. First generation of biofuel is made from edible items like sugar, corn, starch, etc. Okay. Basically edible items, whatever we can. So there is a, I mean, obviously it's going to be some opposition from the people also because already there is shortage of food in many places. So using edible items for making fuel will face some opposition also. So second generation biofuel is little bit more advanced because made from the leftover food crops like rice, husk, wood chips, etc. So this is somewhat better because it is made from leftover, and here it is high carbon content. But here greenhouse gas content is less than first generation. So there is basically improvement. So if you look at third generation, it is carbon neutral. So not much carbon emissions, and it is used producing algae. Very important. Remember what is one. Okay. First one is edible. Second one is non-edible leftover. Third is algae. Fourth generation is genetically engineered crops. That means crops especially made for this purpose. Okay. They are carbon negative. That means they will actually help in absorbing carbon. Okay. So consider the following statements. Indicative target of 20% blending of ethanol in petrol and 5% blending of biodiesel in diesel is proposed by 2030. Very, very, very important. 20% ethanol in petrol, 5% biodiesel in diesel by 2030. So it envisages setting up of NBCC, okay, National Biofuel Coordination Committee, under the aegis of Ministry of Science and Technology. No, it is not Ministry of Science and Technology. It is Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Okay, Biofuel Coordination Committee. That part is correct. Okay, but it is not Science and Technology. It is Petroleum and Natural Gas. It aims to develop national biomass repository by conducting appraisal of biomass in the country. Okay. So that is true, we have seen. So first generation biofuels are made from edible items like sugar, corn, straw, which is true, we have seen. Second generation is made from leftover food crops, right? Which is true. Okay. First generation is made from edible and second is made from leftover food crops. So this is completely true. Third generation are made from genetically engineered crops. So this is wrong. Okay. Third generation is made from algae. Fourth generation is made from genetically engineered crops. So answer is 1, 3, and 4. Okay, 2 is wrong. This is Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and fifth one is wrong. Third generation biofuels are made from algae, not genetically engineered crops. Fine. So let us stop for today. We'll continue in the next class.